Friends, today's NRI Samay program from Los Angeles brought to you commercial free by listeners like you. Your generous donations make possible for us to stay commercial free, and today's show is pre-recorded. If you have a question for the guest, please send an email to nrisamay@gmail.com. We will follow up with the guest and find the answer for you. Thank you for your support.
Hello, friends. Welcome to NRI Samay. This is your host, Suresh. Um, Today we are going to talk to Umi Daniel, who has been working extensively with issues related to the growing rural deprivation, the migration, and the inequality that's giving rise to this unorganized migrant labor in the urban locations. And this issue recently took a very dramatic turn when two of the laborers' hands were chopped off by the middlemen or the mafia who sort of control the issue of bonded labor. So we'll delve into these issues more. We'll learn about what Umi does and how, at the end of it, we can also talk about how citizens like you and me can work with Umi and help the cause. So Umi, welcome to NRSMA.
Hello everyone. Yeah, it's a great pleasure for me to be with all of you here and talking about our work with the migrant and bond laborers.
Right. So Umi, for the sake of listeners, can you please tell us about yourself, who you are, what kind of work you do, and since how long have you been, involved with these issues?
Yeah, my name is Umi Daniel, and I belong to a very small district in Orissa called Koraput, and it's in the southern part of Orissa. And then I worked extensively with the tribal in Orissa, particularly in tribal Orissa, in Kalahandi earlier and in Koraput. Later on, I worked for a very long time with a British charity, Aide International. And now actually I'm working with Aide Action, Aide, which is also like another charity, the French charity, the counterpart of Action Aid. It's a French. And for a very long time, I worked in Bolangir, where actually you heard about this rural kind of distress which used to happen, and there were a lot of starvation deaths used to be reported earlier. And I started working there, and then I found how people are being traded off, I think taken from Bolangir and other places, other part of India, particularly southern India. And they're being recruited in the village and they're taken to the bricklins. And bricklins is a huge kind of industry in India, with the growing demand for housing and real estate and all. So the bricklins are one where you find the most poor and the deprived section of people. They work, Dalits, tribals, they work with a little bit of skill. And when they are the brick makers, and they work like a very invisible entity. And then I started actually observing them, looking at them, what is happening to them. Started some schools in the bricklins for the children, because most of the bricklins use child labor, because children are also, there are some work cut out for children, which they do in a bricklin. And then also the bricklins, you can't enter. So we started schooling for children. So that became an entry point to get into the bricklin, and then looking at the situation of these people. And that is how I came in touch with these people inside the bricklin. Then I went from source that to Hyderabad, to Tamil Nadu. And now actually we are working in these bricklins in Tamil Nadu. We have also influenced the government to, because huge number, we have reached out around 10,000 children in the bricklins, providing education, little bit of healthcare, nutrition program. And now government has taken all these programs because we told that these children are actually deprived of all the basic amenities because half of the year they stay in their village and then they go to the cities where they live like an invisible life. And I also found many children they die unnoticed in the brick lanes. Women are being exploited, and many times we have also rescued these bonded laborers in a very deplorable situation. They're being beaten up. I think the women are raped and children are being forced to work. So that's how I've been engaged quite often. And now I'm working extensively on migration issue because migration is growing today. And poor people are actually migrating out because there are, the push factor of migration in which I'm working. There are also migration of different kind where people are going for better opportunity from greener pasture and all. But there are poor people when they are migrating out. Then there are issues of exploitation, issues of invisibility, and then also they are being treated as non-citizens in their own country. So that is what actually the worry today. So that is where I have been working. I've been writing a lot about these people, and their number is quite high. In India, 310 million people are migrating out. This is the 2001 census says. And there are seasonal migrants who actually migrate from the rural area to the urban area to work in different kind of sectors like stone crusher, construction, there are brick lanes, there are plantation, and these poor people are recruited through labor contractors. And once the labor contractors recruited them, they're being taken to different undisclosed place, and they work there like a bonded labor. So, and entire family they work, the tribals, and that is what you mentioned, I think, in your opening remark about this, how these two people,
right,
their hands were chopped off because they said they're not willing to go to a place where it was not disclosed to them earlier. Their hands were chopped off. It is like a slavery, like how people are being forcibly taken against their will. Yeah.
I see. Now, you said that you have been working in this with these issues for quite some time now, right? Now, all along, these issues have been happening right under the the purview of the government. It's not like they do not know that such a situation exists. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that is a fair statement, I must tell you, because we have one of the best of the laws and acts in India. We have an act which actually regulates and also monitor. That act is Interstate Migrant Workmen Act. This act actually should be providing a bit of support because let me tell you, migration is our fundamental right in India. If you go to any place, anywhere, and take up any kind of profession or occupation, that is my or your fundamental rights. But problem is that people should move freely with dignified way, and they should find out the kind of work where they would have their own dignity. But that is what is not happening. So we have an act, but it's not been implemented. And secondly, we have one of the best law for actually abolishing bonded labor in India. It's way back in 1976. This act was passed. And this act actually provides a lot of kind of tips to actually to take people out from slavery. And before 60s and 50s, we had this term called slavery all over the world, I think. But in India, still it exists. But in different forms and all. Still, tribal people are actually work like slaves, and not like the way it was defined earlier, the contemporary slavery. But yes, today, poor people are actually recruited in different kind of places. In agriculture, there used to be huge number of bonded laborers used to be there. But now there is a transformation which is taking place from agriculture to industry. And then our cities and urban areas are growing very fast. And you need poor people to come, build your monuments, build the huge kind of infrastructure which is required. Who will work there? These poor people would be brought from rural area. And with a very, very basic minimum, if they don't have basic minimum kind of security, safety, entitlement, other things, they work. And, I must tell you, the Commonwealth Games which we hosted, these invisible people who work day and night, with the basic minimum. So I'm saying that these are the people actually who are making the modern India, but they are being neglected. They are the poor, the elite, the marginalized section, their children, their women. So that's a huge issue. I think with this economic growth, these people are contributing hugely to the economy of India by putting sweat and blood. That is an issue. I think this debate needs to go on in India. Look at these people. Yeah.
Right. Now, I think on the issue of these two bonded laborers, right? Just to understand in what conditions you operate and in how these kind of issues are tackled. So if we can use this as a reference point, I think it will help us get some more clarity. Now, so these two bonded laborers, the issue was reported. What happens next? Like, how do you go about bringing in the right attention to getting the compensation and also at the same time punish the guilty? Like, what does this entire process entail?
Yeah, after that, I think this issue has actually took everybody surprised, and also people were actually very, they felt very bad about this kind of incident. But this incident has been happening, and we've been reporting it. Like people are taken, recruited. It's a huge labor trade which is going on in this part of the poorest districts, the Balangir and all. It is touching around 100 crores, I think that you could say, because money is being transacted. So we told the administration to keep a tab on this, see that people let go, but they should go with all kind of rights protected to wherever they are going. Second, keep a track about them. So what we have done, we started keeping registers in villages to track these people. We have been working. So you can track them, where they have gone, with whom they have gone, how much money they have taken, whether they came back or not. So we have been tracking. We told government, you do this. Then immediately, I think government taken some steps that culprits were arrested now. And they are booked now. All these 4 culprits were arrested. And now what we are saying now, this person has lost his hands. I think he is the earning member of the family. So how you are going to support him economically? And then another 12 people who were accompanying them, because there is a debt out there, because they have taken some debt, some money from the middlemen. So you need to also write it off completely. Otherwise, the same people will be taken next year, because they will be forced to be. They'll be forced. So we have told the government, you declare all of them as a bonded laborer, and there are provisions under bonded laborer that all these people can be rehabilitated, both socially and economically in their own village, and they need to be protected from further slipping into same bondage, because the middlemen and other people will definitely be hunting them because they need their money back. So this is very cumbersome process, very complex process. So we have met already the government officials and saying that there should be some law also. So the state government in Orissa is now thinking about bringing a law where they could actually monitor, or they could see that all these grievances are brought to the notice well before. And but it's a long way to go, Suresh. I know this issue has been there, and everybody is the money which is being transacted in this particular place. There are a lot of beneficiaries in that. Even the local administration, the police. So a lot of people are also indirectly involved in this. So it will take some more time to clean up this process and make migration is protected and safe and dignified for the poor people. Because when any rich, any affluent section are migrating out, they are going with all protection, I tell you. They have the rights are protected either both destination. But why these poor people within our own country are not being protected? That's an issue that we have been raising. And hopefully this incident has also highlighted the plight of these migrant bonded laborers.
Right.
And now people started talking about this issue.
Right.
Hopefully I think something will be done. Yeah.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. If you have any interesting episode you would like NRI Samay to cover, we will be happy to do so. NRI Samay would also like to encourage amateur journalists who have a flair for highlighting current events. You can be part of our citizen journalist team. You could cover an important event, interview victims of an atrocity, or document an inspirational story. The idea is to have a mix of experience throughout all parts of the world, preferably supported by an audio or a video clip of your story to be aired, which will be the curtain raiser. You can also submit your opinion articles on important topics to NRI Samay. We will be happy to put it on nrisamay.com in the opinion section. All your work will be credited only to you. And if you're interested, please send an email to nrisamay@gmail.com.
Right. Now, in this case, is the contractor only the guilty person, or the individual or the group of companies, whoever has undertaken this this project? Who where does the buck stop here?
Yeah, you have put in a very right question, I think, because in this case, the principal employer, who the end user of these people, are always never come to the picture. That's very interesting.
Right.
Because this person, somewhere he is there, and there is a law that which actually force or mandate this labor contract to take a license from the district labor office. But he never does that. If he would have done if he would have taken a license, then he would have declared the name of the principal employer. But in this case, it never happened. And they always, because out of your reach, you can't actually locate them. Who is this person who was actually recruiting? Now, these are the middlemen. The middlemen are caught. You're right. I think that person is scot-free completely. You never know for whom this person was recruiting. I think there is a problem. Yeah. Because when this person lands up in Hyderabad, from Hyderabad, this person because he will be told that you're being taken to Hyderabad. But this poor guy, illiterate guy, doesn't know whether he was taken to Hyderabad or Tamil Nadu. So that is, he even doesn't know for whom he is going to work. The worker could also not be able to tell you, no, I don't know where I was going. So, yeah, there is a loophole here. I think loopholes is there. So, yeah, how to see that, I think, difficult. I think it's right. What you put in is a very right question. That, I think, needs to be done. So
the current law does not have a provision where the employer is held responsible for this?
Yeah, this law has, but this law has a kind of provision for registering the middleman in the district, okay? And he was allowed to take some number of laborers, that he has to declare the name of laborers he is taking, and he himself has to register, and then he has to declare for whom he is taking the laborer. But that in this case, it never happened. Because if there are 100,000 people are migrating, only license are obtained for only 10,000 people, So rest 90,000 people are actually migrating illegally. I should not say illegally. They are not actually undocumented migrants.
Right.
So they're not being documented. Yeah.
Right. I see. Now, earlier you said something very interesting. You said you have the ability to track the migrant laborers. Now, the fact that these are migrant laborers itself means that they keep moving from one place to the other, depending on where their work takes them. How do you manage to maintain this kind of a tracking information when you don't even know that you will ever come across that person again once that person has left that place?
Yeah, we have started a very small kind of pilot in a couple of villages. We have taken some 100 villages in Bolangir, and we trained the local people to maintain a register where you have names of people who are going, when they are going, with whom they are going, and then we also document that when they come back to their village. So twice we maintain this register. So you know that whether this person who went has come back safely or with family. Then we started also using the mobile phones now. I think in India you have these mobile phones.
Right.
So you can track them, write down their names. But what we found in many establishments, the owner doesn't allow this person to use mobile phones. Yeah. So
Really?
in such cases, find difficulties. Yeah. Because they work in a very strict condition, very testing condition. No. Even I know the situation that they put their mobile phone on the ground. Sometimes they dig on the soil. They put it. So they are not even. So we get some calls. I think because we have released around 3,000 such laborers from different parts in a very difficult situation. So sometimes they call their family, pass on the information that they are being tortured or they are being exploited. So sometimes we actually rescue them. And but many are unable to actually reach out to their families back home because there is no any communication. But still this mobile phone we are trying now. And we have started giving them identity cards now. I think we have started giving them an ID card with photographs saying that this person belongs to this village. And if you find any problem, please contact the number. So we give also some contact number. So we're trying to, because these people are invisible, so we are trying to make them visible and also like give their identity. So some places they are actually these ID cards and something is helping them out. But in other places nobody cares them because they are a very small group working in a city like Chennai or Hyderabad.
Right.
So. But government is keen that all these things need to be replicated on a larger scale. Right. It will take some time. Yeah.
I see. Now, in the process, like you said that you did start giving out the ID cards. What was the contractor's reaction to that? Like, is he open to this kind of transparency?
No, he's. Unfortunately, they don't like this. But we have also started working at the site, work sites. Now, because we have taken up housing for these people, because they live in a very small house. It's a 5 feet height, 5 feet long. That's the house they live. Huh? So we have mobilized 1 or 2 owners saying that, look, you have to treat them humanly. And we have also, we requested an architect, young architect, to design a house that how they could live in a bricklane in a very dignified way. So the owners have actually realized, like, okay, I need to treat them as humanly. And that we have done in Medak district in Andhra Pradesh recently. And some of the owners came saying that, okay, we want to rebuild this house. We said, yes, please go out. And then we are also started telling them, better you should also report the local officials that how many people you have recruited from Orissa. So he is supposed to report it. So he said, yes, I will do that. But it's taking some time, I think. Yeah, I know, because both the end you need to work. You need to also influence the owners. Some places, very small way, things have started happening. Now the International Labour Organization also came into the picture. And we have also brought 2 governments together, the government of Andhra Pradesh and government of Orissa, to sit together, discuss this issue, and see that how they can collaborate and work together at both the ends, and the source and the destination. So that's also started happening now. And they've also signed an MOU now, both the government. I think that would also be very helpful. At least people are understanding that these people are moving from one state to another state, and they have a role to play. So now the government has also realized, but in India it goes a bit slower, and now people have started talking about this issue more and more because after this issue.
Right.
So we are saying, okay, So we are also organizing workshops, calling government people and telling them and highlighting. We have done recently. I completed a study in 7 states like Delhi, Jaipur, Hyderabad, Tamil Nadu, Bhopal, Odisha, Patna, about the plights of young children in the work site, the small children.
Right.
So this study also we have released recently, and which talks about how children are in a very living in this kind of work sites.
Right.
So that also some government, they're taking it, okay, we want to do something. In Orissa, we are actually helping the government to design how to run an Anganwadi center, ICDS center, in a work site. So we are saying you run all this program at the work site. Make their life little better because they're workers. So some government, somewhere they're actually listening, and I think, that's an area. So hopefully that, let us see that we were able to make the government, the civil society, the media is also playing a very crucial role. So to highlight these issues.
Actually, yeah, that was my other question. Like in terms of creating more awareness, how useful the media has been, because I think the media has definitely reported this, the recent issue where I believe this was like one of the extreme cases where, something like this has happened. But more often than not, the issues are like they are deprived of their basic amenities, housing, healthcare, or other kinds of problems, which probably they don't get reported as as highly as one would like them to be.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. NRI Samay does not rely on corporate funding and our shows are commercial free. We only rely on your donations. Corporate funded media is driven by the TRP rating and profits are blurring the distinction between news and entertainment. Why do our news channels talk so much about cricket, movies, accidents, popular figures' personal lives, babies of heroines, gossips, etc., while they should be covering the struggles of people, inequality in our society, rural issues, and border security issues? Why did our media raise some corruption crusaders to the sky on one day and shut them off completely when graft charges were raised on those corporate sponsors? Media relies so much on the corporate funding and government blessings that they cannot report independently. NRI Samay is different. We don't accept funds from any corporations and hence our shows are commercial free. We completely rely on donations from you. Please consider donating to NRI Samay and please go to nrisamay.com and donate generously. This is the only way together that we can continue NRI Samay. All donations are kept transparent on nrisamay.com. And if you have any questions, please write to nrisamay@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's what I think, because it's very typical. Like the first time it happened in the sports area, the people have got into the kind of issues. Their hands are chopped off. This happened in the first time because most of this exploitation generally takes place at the destination. That means in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, or Kerala somewhere. And you are right. I think at the destination, this is not a priority issue for some people coming and working in a brick kiln. It's not a priority issue of a media there.
Right.
It doesn't give much because these people are from Andhra, from Maharashtra or Orissa. They're working in a brick kiln. Then we start writing it, call them or tell them this has happened to the people. Then they go there. Similar thing happens, in other city like Jaipur, Delhi. So migrants issue never comes to the kind of national agenda of any media. They write, sometimes some stories breaking out, so they write that. You're right. I think at the destination, because this happened in Orissa, so the Orissa press get into and they've actually highlighted this issue. But if the same thing happened, it would have happened in Tamil Nadu and somewhere, the press would have written one or two articles, news, that's all. But now it's keep on. Last several days, now I read every day, this issue is there alive in Orissa. one place or other picking it up. But the destination, yes, migrants never get that much of attention from the media there. Yeah.
Right. I see. Now, did you see, like, in all these years of you working, did you see that things have been changing in a positive way in terms of, be it the laborers themselves getting educated about their rights, or be it the contractors trying to treat them as fellow human beings and make sure that they get the basic amenities? Have you seen that kind of transformation happen, even if it's at a slow pace?
It's very slow pace, yeah. It's happening, last 2-3 years I could see there are a lot of things started happening. Government coming together. We are reaching out to the owners and talking to them, calling them for a meeting. Then we are also talking to the workers. Then I think things have started moving. But also the issue of bonded laborers, which the government is completely rejecting. They're saying there are no bonded laborers in India. So in that case, then recently I went to the NHRC, National Human Rights Commission, to say that, look, these people are, as per the law, I think they are coming under the bonded labor situation. So the NHRC has registered. Yes. So you need to go to this kind of appellate authorities and to tell even legal course of action you need to take, that saying that these people are not treated, so they need to be declared as bonded labor. But yes, I think there are some good human beings are in administration and also in politics who are actually listening to this issue. They're saying yes, we need to do something. And when we say that it's a fundamental right, the Constitution provides all kind of rights to these people, because they are Dalits and tribal, because they need to be organized. And we are also thinking that how they will be also be organized, how they could also be formed into some kind of a group who can control, because it's a huge market, I tell you, Suresh. Britain is a huge market. It's 140 billion bricks are being made, even if that is sold in 1 rupee. So it's a 5 rupees now, 6 rupees the bricks are sold in Hyderabad. And these people get 10 paisa, 15 paisa per brick. So that's a huge. So we are also talking to the government to enhance the wages, because they are still working on a very exploitative, non-remunerative wages. That is also one area. We are also, there is also this CRIDAI now came up, no? CRIDAI is the Confederation of Real Estate, this agency in India. It's a huge. Their turnover is very huge in India. We are also trying to talk to them, saying that you are going to employ these people, but look at the children, they get education, because there is a right to education is there. They get a proper housing. So there are multi-stakeholders are there now. So slowly we are reaching out to them, the cities, big companies, big, very respectable companies are also recruiting laborers, but they doesn't know who has brought these people from where. But they are making their buildings. We are saying you have to own up these people, because they are actually constructing your buildings, and they are creating your assets. So now that awareness slowly it is coming, because we are also asking the construction company, very huge construction companies, international companies are also building their infrastructure, but they doesn't know who is working there. Okay. Because this is subcontracted. These laborers are subcontracted. There are layers of contractors are engaged. And, this company doesn't know that who is this people, who brought them here, how they're living. So it will take some time. I could see some positive things are happening right now, but let us see, it's a long way to go.
Right. Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's a very challenging thing that you have taken up now. In terms of operating in these environments, I'm sure it is pretty hostile to even, sort of do what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah, that is there. When you talk about people's rights, entitlement, then you take the side of poor, then there are it's kind of hostile situation you have to go through.
Right.
And yes, when we are running a school, my teachers are also beaten up in a work site. When they protest about any human right violation, they are being beaten up, and they're being. So these cases are happening still, but but I have a very good team members.
Hmm.
So we do research, we do films, we do to highlight, and also we talk to the people, and there are any issues. Yes, Suresh, you're right. I think that these are the issues, but in India, talking about any human rights issue,
That's also
yeah,
true.
sometimes you get. So yeah, this is also like that because it's a completely unorganized sector, invisible sector.
Right.
People are being treated like very badly, and nobody goes there. No government attention is there, so they are bonded
Yeah.
laborers. Uh, but we are opening up this area slowly through our research, advocacy, then working on the ground, both the place.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is there. Those issues are there, hostility, but somewhere you need to work on this issue because you get also threats from people, and
Right. Right.
that's fine. Yeah, that's part of your work. Yeah.
I see. I see. Now, are there any like targets for year 2014 in terms of, let's say, any policy level changes or any of the amendments that you want to bring about in the laws, or any concrete that you guys are sort of working on?
Yeah, we are also working very closely with a U.S. organization called International Justice Mission,
Mm-hmm.
that's based in U.S. For actually bringing in some kind of like an amendment to the Bonded Labor Act, and also the Interstate Migrant Workmen Act we are working in. Like, it doesn't have much protection for the poor people, so we are saying that this is an area that needs to be looked into. Third, we want to also have a more dialogue with the interstate dialogue. Now, it's like a person moving out from Bolangir to Andhra Pradesh is like, in Europe it is going from one country to another country. So, so it's like, then we need to bring in both the government together and see. And then the enumeration needs to be done. Now, in India, nobody knows how many people are migrants. So we are doing small studies. So the first time we want to say either your census, your any NSSO surveys are being done to actually enumerate these people, because they need to be enumerated so that government has database about these people, how many people are moving where, which sector, and then the survey being done by the respective department about the wages, about the welfare, about the stay. So these are all preliminary things yet to be done, I think. So these should be my target for 2014 and also years to come, but many things are going slowly. So that is one. And then one of my dreams is to making portability of all this entitlement. The poor people should have a portability wherever they are going. Their entitlement should go with them. Somebody is getting food, subsidized food in his village, but when he moves out with family, doesn't get the same thing in Hyderabad.
Hmm.
And hello?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the portability of entitlement, how to make portability, like a person can go roam wherever in India, can get, their children should get education, their children should get immunization, health care, insurance, everything by showing a small card saying that he's entitled to get. So migrants should be looked at the more kind of, so these are the issues are there, and mostly Edit Action works on education. So we are also looking at how education could be available to the children of migrant workers wherever they go. There should not be any barriers for the language, because we are taking young volunteers from Orissa because there is a language problem in Andhra Pradesh. So we are taking young people to teach the children in their own language in Andhra Pradesh. So run Oriya school in Andhra Pradesh. So I would like to see that why we should not have this for children moving in and to other place, and they are being taught in their own language. So we have shown some pilot we have done. So these are the areas we want to work. Yes, policy issues are there, and already Government of India has taken a note. So we are asking them that you create a conducive environment for the people. Poor people should not be migrating in a very distressed condition. There are ample of scopes under various government programs are there today that person, a poor, Dalit and tribal can sustain their livelihood through MGNREGA, which is there, promises 100 days of employment. So the Government of India has actually waken up now. I'm saying that yes, there are certain migration which is happening under distress. And they need land, they need irrigation, they need agriculture, various things you need to provide. Otherwise, our villages will be empty tomorrow. All poor people would be moving into the cities, and they will be, no, what will happen? Because 2030, in India, half of the population would be living in cities. And this is the time that government should think that at least the poor people should get better kind of their livelihood in their own village. But yes, there are people who have skills, who have other things, should migrate. I think that would also be an alternative livelihood. But children, poor children, women in distress, like in a situation of hunger, should not migrate. That I always feel. So these would be our area of work in future. And we have done also some of the villages where distress migration has been reduced. We have done some experiment. So these are some of the dreams that we have for years to come.
I see. All right, Umi, I'll let you go now, but I want to ask one last question. If ordinary citizens like us want to contribute to this issue, how can they go about dealing with this? Because these are very complex issues. It might be very overwhelming. But, is there anything at all that ordinary citizens can do and get involved with this?
Yeah, ordinary citizens can do a lot of work wherever you are. And one is that how you can also work with us, what we are doing. And there are many small organizations that we are supporting here. Aide Action is not a funding agency. We raise funds. I think that is one, to reach out to these people, children's education and other things, particularly focusing more on migrants. Then that is one area we may say. But second, also involving yourself, if you are in India at some place, what could be done for the children? Because we have set up housing for the migrants. We have set up Anganwadi centers. Now we are thinking of setting up a small, because in Brooklyn it's so dusty, so smoky. A child living there, I think, then we started thinking about putting up a structure there so that the child could have little of breathing space and also some kind of learning happening there. So these are the areas we are doing, and education primarily would be our strength. Reaching out to, if 310 million people are migrating, I think even if you take 20% of them are children, it would be a huge number in India. So who are actually moving every 6 months from one place to another place. I think ordinary people can do a lot of work. I'm not only talking about funding, but come here, whenever you are coming, join us and expand this work, because that would be my, and also solidarity would be major thing for these people. And elections are coming in, we will also be raising this issue. Please tell the leaders also wherever they are coming to US about these people, how they are living here. So, and always we say that they are the city makers. They are actually contributing hugely to the robust economy of India, but they are not being actually treated equally. So that is what we are saying. These are the poor people who are building India. Unorganized sector, unattended. So we need solidarity through your radio also. I'm appealing to all the listeners also to come forward and also support them. Yeah.
Sure. Now, is there any website where you have all this information, Umi, where, like you said,
we have Aide Action International. You can Google that Aide Action because so it's known. It's in French. It's called Aide Action. And I have some. There is a migration also, port is there. Or I will send that link if you really want to. Because I'm now on the call. It's Aide Action. You have written ActionAid, so I'm not actually working in ActionAid now. I started this work when I was in ActionAid. But now I'm still continuing with the work. And the website gives you all the picture, Aide Action International. We have an office also in Colombo. We have office in Chennai here. Chennai is our South Asia office. And I'm actually working as a regional head for South Asia on migration issue. Because we have just touched the small issue. We would be also looking at Nepal, Bangladesh and other places, how migration is actually affecting people's livelihood.
I see.
So there are a lot of work is going on. So that would be one interesting issue. Anyone can also look at our websites and all. So that'd be great to have support and solidarity coming in from the common man. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Well, thank you very much for your time, Umi. I know you are always short on time, but thank you very much for sparing the few minutes with us, and we hope you continue on this mission and be able to get those policy level or law changes that can help this complex issue.
Thank you, Suresh. It's a great opportunity for me to interact with you and reaching out to so many our people out there. And it's really a pleasure talking about this issue because this is also part of my role to sensitize and aware people and bring them on board on this issue and get their support. Thank you very much. I'm really honored. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time. Bye.
Friends, if you liked today's show, please go to youtube.com/NRI Samay and click on the subscribe button. You will get notified every time we publish a new show. And you can also like us on our social media sites like Facebook, Twitter and Google+.